Hi foodies, I'm making a super quick dinner and I'm going to show you how quick it is to make a curry. So I don't have that many ingredients because I still haven't gotten to the grocery store. Many of you know we just got back from vacation. I just put some shallots in here. I had a couple of shallots. We have no vegetables, nothing fresh in the house, but I know that my freezer always has stuff. So sometimes I kind of challenge myself to see what I can make with what I have, even though I don't have any fresh stuff. And I love cooking with fresh stuff. I don't like my freezer stuff. So I dug and I'm going to make a chickpea curry. And I'm going to show you how quick it comes together. I always have these tofus that are the Morinu tofu. I'm going to show you the Morinu Silken Tofu. They're extra firm. And in this case, I could go ahead and blend it and make it super smooth if I wanted that to be what's going to make my curry creamy. But instead, I'm just going to crumble it. So I've taken it and I've taken a whisk and I've just crumbled it like this. And as you can see, it's going to be crumbled and it's going to go into my curry. So I have put the shallots in here. I've just slivered them up. And I don't use any oil. This is a non-stick pan. The trick to doing vegetables where they're sauteed is just using tiny little drizzles of water. So I just put a couple drops in and then I let it cook and stick a little bit. When I see that it's getting a little golden, I'm going to hit it with water again. And I'm going to get that little caramelization going in the pot, if you guys can see. I'm going to just let it stick, and I have it kind of on a medium high. So I'm going to show you a couple of things that I have. I had frozen red rice in a Ziploc bag in the freezer. So I just took a chunk of it, and I'm going to be using that for our base of our curry. So it's frozen right here, but when I stick it in the microwave, it's going to rehydrate itself because it's got the ice crystals on it. So it's going to be perfect for the curry. So I'm going to set that off to the side because that's going to be our base for the curry. And then, like I said, I crumbled some of the Silken Morinu tofu. I keep it in my pantry. This is shelf stable. Once I open it, I stick it in the fridge. This is how I made my puddings the other day. I had a vanilla pudding and Jay had chocolate puddings. And now I have 4 more, 2 vanilla, 2 chocolate that we have in the fridge for dessert whenever we want to. If I want to take this, I'm not using half of this. So if I want to take this half and make like a coconut dessert pudding, I could. But I'm going to put it off to the side. So I've got my onions going and they are getting a little bit of sticky caramelization. So now I'm going to put a tiny bit more water. And I'm going to keep doing that until I get them cooked through to the translucency that I want, or to the cooked point that I want. So I'm just using this for a curry, so it doesn't really have to get too cooked. I just want them a little bit cooked through. I want the flavor to come out. Some of the things that I'm going to use for my curry flavor to build is going to be the shallots or an onion, if you have onions, and tomato paste. This is how I make my teriyaki. I take this tomato paste that's in a tube. It's more concentrated. It's more flavorful. You just need a little bit. It makes a great teriyaki. It also makes a great base to get your curry started. I also had a bag of frozen leftover veggies in my freezer. So this is just little remnants of cut up veggies that we might have not used for a soup, or I think it might have been my enchilada chopped veggies. So I didn't use as many as I thought I was going to. So I make little Ziploc bags of it and I pull it out. I'm going to pull it out. So my curry is going to have veggies in it. I'm going to go ahead and defrost it. I hope this isn't too noisy for you guys, but I am going to defrost it. And so now my onion is getting a little bit more stuck. So now, let's see if you guys can see. This is going to turn into a deep caramel, brown kind of caramelization color. You do not need oil. You don't need oil. So I'm gonna lift it once I get it to the point that I want and show you. You gotta watch it though. You don't want it to burn. You want it to caramelize, not burn. So after it caramelizes to the point that I want, I'm going to just put like a tablespoon of this tomato paste in it, and then I'm gonna start building the flavor. I got a bunch of spices out here which are gonna build my curry. And the base of it is also going to be chickpeas. So our bean, our protein, is going to be the chickpeas. It's going to be the crumbled tofu. And I'm going to use, for the milk, because curry normally has coconut milk, we can make a curry with soy milk and make it taste like coconut milk by using this and the coconut extract. So I'm going to, with these two together, make it taste like a coconut milk, but without the saturated fat. So this is going to be the sauce part of it. So now this is getting stuck again. So I'm going to hit it with a little bit more water. And I'm going to show you guys. Let's see if I can show you without burning myself. This is how it's getting. So it gets very deep caramelization color. You've got that going. So I think I'm probably close to going ahead and putting, and I might send Jay with some of this. He's got a trip. So he's going to be taking dinner with him on the plane. You guys saw me do airplane food on the way there and on the way back. So I might have him take some curry with him. It's easy. I just put it in a throwaway plastic container that he doesn't even have to worry about or bring back home. He could if he wants to, but he doesn't have to. I'm gonna go ahead and put my 1 tablespoon of, just eyeball it. I'm going to go ahead and put 1 tablespoon of the tomato paste, and that's gonna start building my curry flavor. And remember, we're going to use the soy milk and we're going to use the coconut extract. So let me check my veggies because they beep. Yep, so they are ready. I don't want to burn myself. Remember, these are just veggies that I had left over in the freezer, and I bag them up. When I end up chopping too many veggies or whatever, I just make little baggies that I can pull out for whatever else. So here I had some tomatoes. I can tell I had some kale and cilantro. I think this is from when I made the enchiladas. So all these veggies are going to go in here, and they're going to flavor up my curry. So I've got the medium-high going. Now I'm going to stick the tofu in here. So I just crumbled the tofu, but you could take a hand blender and go ahead and buzz your silken tofu into a creamy paste so that your curry is very creamy. But I'm going to use actually a tiny bit of cornstarch at the end to thicken it if I need to. I might not need to. So I don't mind the crumbled tofu in here. Some people do. So you go ahead and take a hand blender and with a little bit of soy milk, get your silken tofu into a creamy, heavy whipping cream that you can put in your curry. And that way you don't have to do the cornstarch. I'm just taking a shortcut here. So now I'm going to put some kale in here. And this is eyeballing it because I'm just going to use the whole bag. This is eyeballing it. There is no recipe, guys. This is what I had in the freezer. So this is some kale. You want your greens in here. You want your veggies because you want that nutrition. The more greens that you put in here, the better. So the beans also help for protein, but all veggies, remember all plants have protein. All plants help add up to your protein. All right, so we've got the kale in here, and I'm going to put some peas in here. Actually, I'm going to do these at the end because those cook really quick. Jay loves peas, so I'm gonna go ahead and put peas in there because he loves them and I saw them in the freezer. So now I'm gonna build some flavor. I'm gonna dust some curry on here. Do not, this is 2 types of curry. I'm like one of those people that have just different types of curry. I have a Madras and a regular. So do not use too much curry because you can over flavor and it will become too pungent in curry flavor. So be careful with your curry. Always start with less, not more. So if you're one of those people that needs measurements, and you guys know that I don't like to measure, I just like to wing it, with the flavorful stuff like curry, cumin, cayenne, turmeric, you have to be careful. Turmeric, same thing, just a little bit. If you over turmeric, it's not going to taste good. This is a salt-free seasoning. It's the 21 Salute from Trader Joe's. It's salt-free. So I'm going to put a ton in there because I want it to build flavor. And the more flavor and spices that don't have pungent flavor or sodium, the more I'm going to put in there. So now I have onion powder. And we already started with the shallots that I caramelized. And this is another one. It might not be pungent, but it's cayenne pepper. So I'm just going to dust a little bit so I don't kill us with heat. But I am going to make it spicy because we like spicy. One thing that I like in my curry is I like a hint of sweetness. So I do put a tiny bit of sweetener like a honey or a maple syrup. Just choose your sweetness if you want to. If not, leave it completely savory. I'm just going to put a tiny, tiny bit. So just a little hint to kind of cut the heat, cut the curry, cut all of it. That's my trick to doing a curry. So now I'm also going to eyeball the milk. What I kind of do is I kind of keep it so it doesn't become a soup. I just put enough milk to cover my ingredients, or just barely cover my ingredients, because now when I'm done with it, I'm going to thicken it. This is my chickpeas. They're coming straight out of a can. I drained them. You guys save your chickpea water. It's aquafaba. Aquafaba is a natural thickener. You can use it in recipes. You can even froth it up into whipping cream. You can do all sorts of stuff. So whenever I drain a can, I keep them in mason jars in the fridge and use them for stuff. Sometimes I just use it to add liquid to whatever it is that I'm making. So I've got my soy milk in here. As you guys can see, I'm leaving it super thick. I might put a little bit more. And this is what happens to me. It's just 2 of us, and then I end up with all this food, and we just can't eat all of it. So I can't freeze it because I don't have room in my freezer. So then I end up calling the foodies that are local, seeing to see if they want some package of whatever I made. So I might call Pam again and be like, Pam, do you want some curry? So now I'm going to go ahead and get it to the heat point. I'm going to bring it up to the heat point. I don't need this water. I will need it for a second because what I do is I just put 1 tablespoon or like 2 teaspoons of cornstarch if I need it. If not, I just dump it back in my container. If I need it, I'm going to mix this with a little bit of water to thicken this. I don't think I'm going to because it looks pretty thick as is. So I'm going to get it to the heat point. I'm going to get a spoon and taste it. I'm going to put away, I'm going to use the spoon since I'm not going to. And I'm going to see if I need to add anything else. I might add a little bit more curry. What did I do with, I have two curries. All right, here's one. Just a little bit. Let's see if I can keep this from spitting at me. Let's see what else I would need to add. Maybe a little bit more 21 seasoning Salute. And remember, you can use California vinegars on top when you finish this up. You can put crunchy chickpeas on top. You can put shredded toasted coconut. You could cut up like chives and green onions. You could you could put some sun-dried tomatoes on top. I'm used to eating curry with raisins or a little bit of nuts and crunch on top. So we usually have like a little array of toppings that each person can choose to put on their curry. Just make sure that you keep an eyeball on the saturated fat of what you do put out. And as you guys saw, did we even put, I don't think I put, oh, here it is. I haven't put the coconut flavor in. So here is my coconut extract. I don't measure, guys. So it's going to be 2 capfuls. And then I knew I was missing something. So now I'm going to taste it and make sure it tastes coconut-y. Might put a tiny bit more of soy milk. Oh, I can smell the coconut. That's the trick to getting coconut milk on a plant-based diet and cutting out the saturated fat so that you don't have to use it so often. It's good as a treat, but not every day. Okay, I can taste the coconut now. And now I'm going to put the peas in. And I'm just going to put like a 1/4 cup of them maybe. Maybe 1/3 of a cup. Oh, he likes them. We'll put more. Okay, so I put about 1/2 cup of the peas. I'm gonna let them cook through. And then remember, I had my red rice that I had in the freezer, so I'm gonna heat that up in the microwave. It's going to rehydrate because the ice crystals are on there. Rice can be frozen very easily so that you don't have to keep cooking batches of rice. You just pull it out of the freezer and I promise you it's just as good. So we're gonna serve this curry on top of that rice. And then the peas should be hydrating this. And I don't even think I'm going to need the cornstarch, guys. So I'm gonna taste it. I'm going to put a tiny bit more cayenne because we do like heat. I almost killed us when we were out west. I used a chipotle and I forgot chipotles like cayenne. I thought it was just flavorful. I had never had a chipotle that was so hot. I almost killed us with our burritos. They ended up being so spicy, but we ate them and loved them, but they were spicy. I learned my lesson. So, not all Chipotle is the same. So apparently this Chipotle, they meant like cayenne seasoning. It was just Chipotle and it was meant for heat. Okay, I'm gonna taste it again. Just taste your food. That's good. Okay, so now maybe I will just put a tiny bit of this cornstarch for insurance. Just because I like curries to be a little bit thick, not so runny. I kind of like it to have a consistency. So the trick to putting cornstarch in anything is you want to make sure that it's boiling. If it's boiling, then you put the cornstarch in. If it's not, you do not. Because if not, it's not going to thicken it. So, and if I over thicken it, the beauty of it is I can just put more soy milk on it and it will be fine. So I've got my heat at the highest now that I'm putting the cornstarch in. I'm just going to stir it through. It'll start thickening even though it was already thick, but I just kind of want the tiny little watery parts of it or liquidy parts of it to all melt together and all be a thick curry. That's it, guys. So if I want to, I can freeze half of this because it's just 2 of us. He's going on a trip, so that way I won't be able to eat this every single day. If I don't want to eat curry every single day, I can freeze half of it. I can give half of it away. And he can take some on the plane with him. And now we've got dinner. This is all from stuff. You guys saw my fridge yesterday. I have nothing in there. I don't have one fruit, vegetable. I had 2 apples and they were gone because I ate them yesterday. So I have nothing. The other thing that I'm going to put in here, but I'm going to do it off camera so I can let you guys know, is water chestnuts. I love water chestnuts in my curry and I saw that I have a can of them. I will drain them and I will rinse them because they are not, I have not found water chestnuts that are sodium free. So that will add a tiny bit of sodium here and it will add crunch. So, and I've got in the air fryer some chickpeas that I took out of a can and I'm crunching them up. So we might put that on top as a crunch factor apart from the water chestnuts. And that's it. And we'll enjoy dinner. Bye guys. Super easy curry. I hope you try it.